Hello and welcome to FUBU Education, the only online broadcast that's for students by students. I'm Roger Jenkins, your host, here with Griffin Angerman, our co-anchor, and we're here to talk to you about some history topics today. Now I'd like to start off by making sure that we're not committing any sort of, what's the word I'm looking for, Griffin? Plagiarism. That's the word. So we're making sure we're not committing any sort of plagiarism here. If you take a look at the middle of your screen or at the bottom right-hand corner of your screen, you see that this is run by Minicams. Minicam's pretty awesome program to have, and you can check them out at minicam.com. Also,
Minicams,
I'd like
it's not Hypercam. It's a good one.
It's not Hypercam. You're right. XSplit is better. Also, I'd like to cite Professor Aldergate from Stark State University. She's where we got the style for this lesson, and I hope you like it. And if you like it, you can check out her videos at Britlit2. That's BRITLITTWO. So that's a pretty awesome channel to check out. And then also this particular demonstration is being made for
Dubinsky.
Professor Dubinsky from Stark State University. So Professor Dubinsky, if you're watching this, me and Griffin would like to say hi. And let's get started. I'd like to say hi to all my new fans because I know I'm awesome, Griffin's awesome, this channel's awesome, and this video's going to be awesome. Your dad would never say that, Griffin.
Thank you for reminding.
Oh, no problem. So today we were going to talk to you about Akron and its rubber company, but we realized that Akron's boring, rubber's boring, tires are really boring, so we decided to go to a much more close to home topic. We're going to talk about the Canton Bulldogs.
That's depressing. You mean the Timken Bulldogs?
I'm referring to the Canton Bulldogs.
No, I mean the Timken Bulldogs now.
I don't think it'll ever be the Timken Bulldogs.
Not after the merger.
Whatever, Griffin. So let's get into this. Alright, so, the Canton Bulldogs became, actually it wasn't called the Bulldogs back then, it was just the Canton team. It began prior to professional football in the Canton area, but when the Ohio League was created in 1903, they immediately joined. Now, the Ohio League was a loose association of American football, and it was active between 1903 and 1919. The Canton team wasn't actually a part of the league for that entire time. They came in 1903, left in 1906, just to return in 1911 and stay until the duration of its existence in 1919. So, what I want to talk to you about, first of all, is what's referred to as the Blondie Wallace era. We're going to start a little bit before this, though. The team created the goal of beating the Massillon Tigers, which is not far from here, who had won the previous two Ohio League championships. They won 1903 and 1904. Canton offered money to the best players of all the other Ohio League teams and purchased the first actual Canton head coach. Previously, he was a team captain and a coach of Akron East Ends. Now, you might ask how he could be a team captain and a coach, and what it was is back then they actually had both. The coach was actually a player for the team.
That's skill.
That is skill. So what the Blondie Wallace era is it's pretty much exactly what it says. It's named after the involvement of the 240-pound All-American tackle Charles Edgar Blondie Wallace. Blondie being his middle name, not a surname. And after going 7-0 in the beginning of the 1905 season, Bill Laub, who was the new head coach / player / team captain that they hired, was injured, and Blondie became the successor. And 2 weeks later, Canton lost the OLC, which is the Ohio League Conference, or Ohio League Championship, to Massillon 14-4. In the middle of the 1906 season, the Canton team was given the name the Bulldogs, and the origin for this is unclear. Prior to the name change, most people called it the Canton AC, or the CAC, or the Canton 11, or the Red and White, or the Wallace Men. But the Bulldog name took immediate popularity, and it actually almost became the official name overnight. In the same year, which is 1906, The Canton Bulldogs won their first game ever against Massillon, so yay for that.
Oh man, we've beaten them since what,
1906?
Man.
1906. Because the Ohio Football League rules, due to certain stipulation. There you go.
Word.
That's the word. Due to a certain stipulation in it, when Massillon was to beat McKinley at the second meet later in the year, Massillon was able to claim the Ohio championship, even though McKinley won the first one by even more points. And I actually completely forgot about this PowerPoint, so I guess we're going to bring this up for you. We're going to scroll down here. We can start it on the first one, and we can just scroll down because I want to explain to you some of these pictures that I chose. This is actually much before we started, or after we started. This is the 1920 Canton Bulldogs logo. I actually just chose it for a title picture, and it had no relevance to the beginning of my thing. But this right here is not my swag, but it is the official Tigers Massillon team.
That's the crew.
I believe that's the year 1906. No, 1905. Sorry about that. And then if we go down, this is the Canton Bulldogs.
That's my dad.
That is not your dad, Griffin.
Yeah, that one right there in the, the one in the white that's just pointing. The one that you can tell is the big man on campus.
That might be your dad. I don't know. You don't know him. I don't know him.
Yeah, I'm just taking a shot in the dark. But.
Yeah. All right. So anyway, after Massillon won the Ohio championship over McKinley due to the the loss in the second meet, the end of the 1906 season, Massillon newspapers accused McKinley head coach Blondie Wallace with throwing the game intentionally. Though it could not be proven, the claim ruined their team's reputation, and the Canton team folded, allowing Massillon to claim the 1907 championship with little competition. Canton was silent until 1911. In 1911, a new team emerged. They called themselves the Canton Professionals. The team was entirely made of local players who were hardly paid. They finished their 1911 season in second place under a team called Peggy Parrott, which was actually just named after the head coach / player of that team, whose name was also Peggy Parrott.
Wow.
It was real creative, Griffin.
I mean, back in those times, they had the best minds.
Yeah. So
it's better than the Browns.
Yeah, it's better than the Browns. We're actually going to get to that, Griffin. Hold that thought. After 2 average seasons, the Canton Professionals defeated Peggy Parrott. The victory was made bittersweet when the team captain Harry Turner was severely injured attempting to tackle Joe Collins of the Akron. Receiving a fracture to his spinal cord, Harry Turner died in the hospital. According to Professionals Mary Jack Cusack, who was at Harry Turner's bedside at the time of his death, apparently Harry's last words were, "I know I must go, but I am satisfied, for we beat Peggy Parrott." Now that's some dedication, Griffin.
And he died on the field. Why can't ever athletes do that? I deserve to see the best.
Is this really where we're going with this, Griffin?
I mean,
is that where you're going to go?
I deserve the best for my money.
So, I'd like to show you this right here. Once again, it's not my swag, but it is one of the coaches for McKinley. Let me take a look at which one. Oh, this one is in fact Harry Turner knocking down a Massillon player. So, go for him.
Right before he died.
This many games before he died, Griffin. That was an astute observation, though. If you weren't wrong, I'd assume that you were right. All right. So, this is actually Curtis J. Bowman. That was, I believe he's the man in the back in the middle. It was just a dedication to him after he died in 1908. They made a little placard for him, and this is what's hanging in the locker room at Camp McKinley High School. We'll get to that, too, so hold that thought, Griffin.
Oh,
all right.
Caught me.
So, all right. Now, this is a news article, actually, a news article cut out from November 14th, 1906. And it's, it was the coming rivals. This is back way, right when the rivalry started. So, yeah, whoever drew that is just...
Man,
yep. Now, Blondie Wallace. This is a man.
We should all inspire to be for.
This is a man. This is our 240-pound All-American tackle that we were talking about.
The man.
But we'll actually get back to this picture. Okay, so let me get back into this story for you. The team didn't win a single game after the death of Harry, which is pretty sad because his big thing was winning games. So that's pretty disappointing. But in 1915, the name Bulldogs was restored, so they were no longer the professionals, by manager Jack Cusack. The same year, they started hiring non-locals again. Cusack signed Jim Thorpe for $250 a game. The first game that Jim Thorpe had the first game Jim Thorpe sat the sidelines through the entire thing. And so they paid $250 for the man to sit down. So I'd like to point that out there.
I mean, I'd like to get paid $250 just to sit.
I have nothing to say. So,
Don't have to say anything.
Insightful statement insert here. The same year they started, in that game that he sat the sideline, they were defeated by Massillon 16-0. So that was a pretty heartbreaking game for them, for me,
I'm still crying.
Yeah, it's just a terrible situation. So in game number 2, Thorpe took over as Canton head coach and played the entire game. He kicked 2 field goals, being the sole scorer in Canton's victory 6-0. The Bulldogs went undefeated in 1916, which is the next year, beating Massillon 24-0, and were recognized as both Ohio League champions and national champions. With the help of Thorpe's fame, Cusack was able to make a financially stable team consisting of many former All-American players. At this point, the fan attendance base rose from 1,500 to 6,000, or even sometimes in the big games like the Massillon game, 8,000. In 1917, the Bulldogs once again won the league championship, and Canton and Massillon both quit playing football in 1918. This was due to World War II. You should be. Yeah, this is actually. I believe this is Blondie Wallace a little later in life, wearing his uniform. There he is. And this is a picture of the Christmas ceasefire.
Oh.
And they played football. So this was a painting depicting that. It's called Ballers at War.
Ball is life.
Ball is life. So anyway, most players actually ended up in a squad together. It was known as the Ohio League Conference squad was actually the term that the government gave it. So once again, you just see this like historic enchantment with all these names. They're just so creative, and I would have never thought of something like that. So big kudos to them. Cusack also left in 1918 to start an oil business in Oklahoma.
How'd that go for him?
It skyrocketed. And due to this, a successful auto dealer, Ralph Hay, became team manager. In 1919, after the players came back from the war, which is actually, they were only in war for 1 year, so that's a thing.
That's why they all survived.
Exactly. Hay kept the team moving as they won yet another league championship. The crowds grew to 10,000 fans. While Canton had become a powerhouse, other teams were falling into complete debt trying to keep up. Stealing players from one another, the teams drove up the cost of the payrolls for players. Like, if, say the Akron Professionals was to offer a player $250 a game, and then the Cleveland Indians wanted them, and they came and purchased that player for $300 a team. Obviously, that's going to increase the payroll for most people. This is actually Hayes right here, our successful auto dealer.
I trust that cigar.
I trust that face. It's a man I can live with.
Looks like Mayor Healy at you a little.
Oops, I'm sorry about that, guys.
Better be.
There you go. All right, you say it looks like Mayor Healy.
Only a little.
It does kind of look like Mayor Healy. If Mayor Haley, if you're watching this, I'd like to say hi. Thank you for fixing our roads for the last
20 years.
week before elections. So, thanks for that. Maybe we'll get a couple votes off of that.
Just have to get down there.
And, I mean, it's getting done finally. Can't complain. Actually, I drove by a man that was filling potholes and yelled out my car and thanked him a couple days ago.
And then he owed back at you saying something about the war. And
No, he said, "You're welcome." What most normal people would say. So, anyway, my friends, on August 20th of 1920, a meeting was held in Canton, Ohio's Jordan and Hupfield Auto Showroom, hosted by Bulldogs owner Ralph Hay. This meeting resulted in the formation of the American Professional Football Conference, or APFC. It was also known as, they also used the word league instead of conference sometimes in their advertisement, so it was known as APFL as well. In the next 2 seasons, the Bulldogs found themselves at 9 wins, 5 losses, and 4 ties, which at the time was a respectable record, seeing that ties were very common. In 1922, the APFC became the National Football League, or the NFL, where Canton won back-to-back championships. In 1923, the next year, Hay announced that he was stepping down, and he asked for $1,500 for the team.
Wow.
It was sold to local businessmen who formed the Canton Athletic Company to run the team. And success on the field was maintained, but success at the ticket booth was not. The fans dropped exponentially after that.
You might even say there's a depression.
Wow. Okay. Sorry for that, viewers. I hate you. So, it was actually $1,500. Historians say that was actually $500 more than the team was worth even after their back-to-back championships. Payroll for the Canton players became too expensive, with the team losing $13,000 in the year 1923. And by August, the Canton Athletic Company sold the franchise for $2,500, which is $1,000 more than they bought it for, so they made out, to a man named Samuel Dutch. Samuel Dutch was the owner of the Cleveland Indians, which at the time was an NFL team, if you only recognize them as a MLB team. And the new owner of the Canton Bulldogs, who's that man, took 7 players from the Canton team and put them on his Cleveland Indians team and named them the Cleveland Bulldogs. The team won the 1924 national championship, but the next year, Dutch sold the Canton Bulldogs back to Canton investors for $3,000. Dutch kept the Cleveland Bulldogs, and the Canton Bulldogs rejoined the NFL. So there were 2 Bulldogs in the NFL at the time now.
That's confusing.
That's okay. It's Canton and Cleveland. That's actually, if you take a look at the Cleveland's old logo, that dog pound and the bulldog, that's where it came from.
Oh, so there's copycats.
Pretty much. So anyway, despite the team folding in 1927, which is the year after the Canton investors bought it for $3,000, the heritage and the history still play a major role in Canton's growing. For example, previous to the ending of the team, the Canton Bulldogs were... The name was used to form Canton McKinley High School, which used the Bulldogs logo, and that was formed in 1918. And in 1959, after the team's closing, the Canton Repository called for city officials to lobby the NFL to create a Hall of Fame in the community. And together, Canton raised $378,026 to build the Hall of Fame. And the Canton city government actually donated the parkland for it to be built on. The agreement for the plan was made in 1961. The initial groundbreaking for it was in 1962. And by 1963, the Hall of Fame was opened. So that's pretty interesting how fast they did that. The that's actually all the information that I have scraped up for you today. If you'd like to take a look at my sources, they're actually going to be in the description of the video. The picture that I'm showing you right now, this is the first Canton High School. This is McKinley High School.
Oh, wasn't that the one that's on McKinley?
On
McKinley Street?
No, it's on Market.
On
No,
Market,
it's on
yes.
the Market is the road, isn't it?
She's right. This is actually shut down now.
Well, isn't it a senior home?
It was.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is now.
Yeah. This was the first logo for the American Conference. And this was actually the first logo for the NFL after they were formed. If you take a look down at the bottom left-hand corner, that's actually the current logo. So you can see how actually little it changed
Yeah,
since
and
then.
years have been pretty kind to that. Though it's lost some stars.
Yeah. This is the Canton Bulldogs after returning to Canton. This is the Cleveland Bulldogs
After returning to Cleveland.
after maintaining Cleveland. This is also McKinley High School. This was the rebuild. And
Look at that.
this is the Hall of Fame in its original glory. Now, it's been built on since then, but this is what it originally looked like when it was built. And actually, that's really all I have for you today, so unless if Griffin has any insightful information that he'd like to spill.
Licking doorknobs on other planets is illegal.
That might be. So, that was really a terrible end to a terrible broadcast. So, like I said, this is FUBU Education, and this is Roderick and Griffin. Please tune in because Griffin's going to have his presentation on our next video. All right, well, thank you.